WECT News starts now with severe weather.
Our severe weather coverage continues tonight as a powerful storm slams southeastern North Carolina.
Heavy and at times historic rainfall, bringing widespread flooding from Wilmington to Whiteville. Hundreds of drivers are stranded at this hour. Major roads are like parking lots. Other roads are washed out, cutting communities off.
Homes and whole towns underwater tonight, literally, but it all together, and it's one of the worst storms we have seen here in years. Now, we do have team coverage of the impacts of today's storms. Ava Bringord and Emma Dollenmayer both out in the elements right now. Traffic reporter Daniela Hankey is monitoring the many road closures that we've seen today.
And first, though, we're going to turn it over to Gabe Ross here in the Weather Center. Gabe, we talked about the historic rainfall that we got, and we're not done with the rain at this hour, are we?
Correct. We still have some bands of showers off the New Hanover County and now more so Pender County coastline that are likely going to bring about additional perhaps inches of rain in some cases, leading all the way up to Surf City and the Onslow County coast there too. The good news, the center of this low kind of going along with it, so a lot of that moisture going to start to wind down in the hours ahead. But boy, it's still going to likely be a wet outcome here for the course of the next couple of hours in select locations. Happy to say portions of Brunswick, New Hanover County that were hit the hardest this morning, Columbus County included in that too, are getting a break from the worst of the rain. Still maybe a couple of passersby or a few sprinkles left over through the night tonight, but still that's what we're looking at. Flash flood warnings in effect for you. The flash flood warnings that are outlined in yellow are observed areas of flash flooding. The others radar indicated. So we know that it's happening around here, especially those big portions of Brunswick, southern New Hanover County, where we've seen inches, in fact, over a foot of rain in a lot of locations. Still standing with that, but a good chunk of the region dealing with those flash flood warnings, and a flash flood watch still going to go for us through the evening and overnight hours. I think once these showers get out of here tonight, though, we'll be in a lot better shape. In fact, I want to do that now. I want to take you forward. As those heaviest rain bands lift to the north, we'll get an influx of some drier air, although humid air at that. So I do think one or two showers possible to be left over. But John, the good news, I think a lot of the heaviest rain is going to be shutting down, certainly through the course of the overnight. A few leftover showers come tomorrow. Some drier times in your planning forecast, which will go out a full 10 days, coming up in just a little bit.
All right, take a look at this video. This is out of Brunswick County. Look at the line of drivers stranded along Highway 17 today because areas of that roadway are under floodwaters.
Also in Brunswick County, the sheriff's office also out right now performing high water rescues as drivers became stranded. We talked with Governor Roy Cooper just moments ago, who says getting these roads rebuilt will be a top priority.
We'll put a premium on working to get roads repaired as soon as possible. I do not know the extent of the damage. There could be some extensive damage here, particularly with washout.
WECT's Ava Bringord is getting a first-hand look at the impact those road closures are having in Brunswick County. Ava, you're live along Highway 17. Many of the people you talked to stranded there for hours. They're just desperate to get home.
Yeah, that's right, Fran. It's an unfortunate scene tonight. I'm walking alongside. There's probably about hundreds of drivers lining Highway 17. Everybody's waiting here, waiting out those floodwaters. I spoke to a sheriff's deputy who told me there's about 7 feet of water waiting for them on the other side. Many of these people left home this morning not knowing that they wouldn't be able to get back there. Now, the rain has stopped for now here, but we're starting to see the impact this storm has had on Brunswick County. High water rescue trucks are starting to come back to higher land. Crews rescuing the most vulnerable right now. And on the other hand, there are hundreds of drivers waiting for the floodwaters to recede to get back to their homes. We spoke to a few people here who are waiting to go back to their homes in Bolivia. That's about 10 minutes away from where we are here in Winnebago. One man said he worked all day in the rain rain, and he just wants to go home and take a hot shower and go to bed. The other tells us he has young children and a pregnant wife. They both agree they'll wait as long as it takes to get to their families.
I had no idea. I know it was raining really hard, but I had no idea it was going to be this bad. So I guess I'll sleep in the car tonight.
You're prepared to sit here for the next couple hours?
If I got to, that's where my family is. I'm not going to leave them by themselves. My wife's pregnant. She's due in the next couple weeks. I got 3 kids. I'm about to do some off-roading if I need to.
We have heard from the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office tonight. They say that there have been multiple rescues throughout the day. The big story here right now, they're asking people to stay home if they can, be smart and stay safe, as fortunately many people wait out the lasting impacts of this storm. Live in Brunswick County, Ava Brangord, WECT News.
We're already seeing school systems making changes to Tuesday's schedule because of the impact of today's storms. Brunswick County schools will be closed for students tomorrow. Teachers will have the option of a workday. Students in New Hanover County will have a remote learning day while authorities assess any damage to buildings. Among the schools closing for students and staff, Calvary Christian, Classic Charter Schools, and all campuses of Cape Fear Community College. And we just heard from Columbus County Schools. They will be remote instruction tomorrow for students and staff. Columbus County Schools remote instruction tomorrow for students and for staff.
Now, the decision to not cancel classes today has caused a lot of backlash for a few area school districts.
We've received statements from administrators in both Pender and New Hanover County Schools apologizing for the decision and saying they made the decisions after talking with emergency management officials. New Hanover County Schools Interim Superintendent Dr. Chris Barnes said in his statement, here's part of the quote, "Unfortunately, the rainfall and conditions far exceeded all forecasts when we made the call last night to keep school open." He continued, saying the severity of today's storm took our community by surprise, end quote.
Pender Schools also released a statement saying in part, and I'm quoting here, "We understand that the evolving situation may have caused frustration, but the safety of our students and staff remains our top priority," end quote.
All right, let's give you an idea of just how bad the flooding is in Carolina Beach, southern New Hanover County. Take a look. This is not oceanfront property. This is the lake park in Carolina Beach. That is the lake as you're seeing it. James Blydenberg sent us this picture. You can see the amount of water in and around that lake in Carolina Beach. An unbelievable picture coming from that Pleasure Island community. WECT's Emma Dollenmayer spent the day in Carolina Beach. What does it look like there now, Emma?
Well, John, I'm on Lake Park Boulevard here in Carolina Beach. That's the road that most of the businesses sit on, and take a look at it. It's looking a lot more like a river than a street right now. Really, the best way to put it is just a historic amount of rainfall and an unbelievable amount of it. If you look into the distance, you can see a car actually stranded on this road, sandbags up against the storefronts, as a lot of business owners said they didn't prepare for this actually, and we do want to point out that the roads are closed right now. Police are standing blocking the intersection so people can avoid going down this street. Again, I talked to business owners, people who work here. The kitchen manager at the dive actually tells me him and the owners were going out to check it out and see if they would be able to reopen anytime soon, and here's what he had to say.
Not really sure. We're going to go look at it inside here in a little bit with the owner, and we'll see what he says. But if restaurant equipment's damaged, then it might not be able to serve food for a while, which is a critical blow to us already.
Just one day of business, you can imagine it does some damage here in a place that really relies on people eating and visiting these areas. Now, he tells me that they hope they can open as soon as possible. But again, if you take a look at this road, conditions are really going to have to clear up. until that can happen. Live in Carolina Beach, Emma Dollenmere, WECT News. Back to you, John and Fran.
All right, Emma, thanks. Now you can keep up with the impacts of this storm by downloading the WECT weather app. Use the camera on your smart device to scan the QR code that you see right there on your screen.
That will take you to a link to download the app. It's a free download on your smart devices. Now at 6, a political activist from Wilmington facing charges tonight for her alleged role in the January 6th, 2021 riot at the U.S. Capitol. Justina Gardino served as the vice chair of the New Hanover County Moms for Liberty group. The group says she resigned from her position. Gardino has a history of making controversial political comments in the community. Media partners WHQR first reported on her arrest. She faces charges similar to other rioters there that day.
Ahead, you'll want to take serious caution before hitting the road anytime soon.
We'll break down the roads you should avoid. As today's rains died down, the impacts to roadways will affect how many people get around for the next few days. Here's another look at the hundreds of drivers stranded along Highway 17 because of the flooding.
Hunter French shared this video with us about an hour ago. The Department of Transportation has closed the highway in both directions around Sellers Road. Again, that's in Brunswick County. WECT's Daniela Hankey joins us to break down some of the impacts of the roadway issues tonight. Where are we seeing the most problems right now, Danielle? Is it still Brunswick County?
John, it really is Brunswick County, and you just saw that drone footage right there of that stop and go, and people have been sitting in that for hours. Now, there is some good news is we're not seeing as much ponding or even wet roadways, just really tracking in Wilmington as you head towards Surf City and the Hampstead area, so you are going to have to use caution if you're heading that way. But let's go ahead and talk about where those trouble spots are and what you can expect. Now, right here is going to be on 74. You can see that road closure as you head towards that area. That's going to be on Andrew Jackson Highway right now. I do have an alternative route that you can take. It's going to take a little bit longer, but it's better than sitting in stop and go traffic. And that's really going to be using 421s towards Kelly, and then you're going to take South Elwell Ferry Road down onto 214 in Bolton. If you're trying to get towards that area, you can take that alternative route at this time. Now, we're also seeing another road closure in play, and this is going to be on NC 133 on River Road, and that's going to be closed from Funston Road to Mallory Creek Drive. And we've been told that they have opened another alternative route that you can take if you are heading from Bolivia or Boiling Spring Lakes into Wilmington. But we've been told that's taking hour, even 2 hours for some drivers to get into Wilmington. So my best advice is if you can stay put where you are, stay put until some of those roads do start to open back up. And over towards Southport and even over in 17, we're seeing a lot. That's where you're seeing that 17 that we saw, that backup that we showed you with that drone footage. That's where a lot of people are stuck right now and been stuck for several hours. Now, we are going to reach out to NCDOT to see exactly how long you can expect for these road closures to be into play, and we'll have that on our website and also tonight for you.
As we head to break, we're going to take a live look outside at Surf City. There it is, the surf remaining quite active. Showers still falling too as you take a closer look at the camera. The good news, shower chance is going to start to wind down as we head through the evening. I've got details on that, plus the rest of your first alert forecast after the break.
Here's your forecast from the First Alert Weather Team.
All right, let's time this through the rest of the evening, shall we? Your impact timeline coming up for you right now. I would expect by late evening, a lot of the heavy rain impacts going to start to dwindle. Some good news there, even into early Tuesday afternoon. I think any showers that do develop are going to be very much of the isolated variety. Let's talk gusty winds. I still think next little bit with some of these rain bands coming ashore, we're going to be inundated with some 30, perhaps 40 mile per hour wind gusts at times. The severe storm threat going to start to drop off a little bit too as we head toward the late evening and early morning hours of Tuesday. Really, once the center of that low gets to the north of the Carolina latitudes, honestly, the way things are looking, just this last band here that's offshore now. I think if we can get that north of us, I think that's going to negate a lot of that tornadic threat. But still, rough surf and sea is going to continue on through at least the middle of the week. So that's worth paying close attention to. The roads are wet in Elizabethtown, but it's interesting to see Southport, how it looks now. A few puddles left over, yes, but the parking lot pretty much underwater about 5 to 6 hours ago. Our First Alert Skycams, of course, streaming live on WECT.com. If you've got one near your particular neck of the woods, I encourage you to go over there, click on that live stream, get a live view, and see what conditions are in your neck of the woods. For now, winds anywhere from 10 to 20 plus miles per hour in some cases. We've got our wind streamers on here too. You get a semblance of where the center of that low is. It's off to the west, and again, the farther north that goes from the Cape Fear, that's going to bode better for us. That's going to shut that tornadic threat down for sure. Maximum sustained winds 10, 20, 30, even close to 40 miles per hour in some cases like the airport. Current wind gusts still hovering around 30, even 40 plus miles per hour. That's going to be along the I-95 corridor, and again, you see the center of where that low is currently. The maximum wind gusts have been 40, 50, 60, and even one report 70 plus miles per hour along Wrightsville Beach. It's been a downright windy day, not just tropical storm force wind gusts, but in that case 77 miles per hour out at Wrightsville Beach. That's a hurricane force wind gust, although this system, not a hurricane, not even a tropical storm, a potential tropical cyclone, pretty much didn't have all its bearings together in order to get a full designation like Helene, but still a formidable system we're not going to forget anytime soon. Some of those outer bands of rain I mentioned earlier, a lot of those now pretty well north of New Hanover County. So if you're traveling along Highway 17 in Hampstead, encountering some heavy rains too, even up toward Burgaw, they've already seen over a half a foot of rain in some cases. And farther inland, you go up toward southern Sampson County, Bladen County, and portions still yet of western Pender and southern Duplin County. A lot of rain falling there still. And even spots just within the last few hours adding insult to injury, these outer bands of moisture, which we're still going to have to deal with here for another couple of hours before the tap begins to wind down. But I'd suspect 7, 8, 9 o'clock, we're starting to finally turn the corner there. Few passersby still a possibility. I'd expect by tomorrow morning, a few breaks here and there in the clouds. You're going to want to check the road conditions before you go out, because all that water has to go someplace. And in some cases, we're dealing with it still on the roads. Plus, we've got tidal flooding to be concerned about as well, with those high tide cycles coming up here pretty soon. Some optimism for a little bit of sun in the afternoon, but boy, some south and southwesterly winds at times for your Tuesday, going to make it feel downright toasty outside. So all in all, still a good idea to keep an eye on your First Alert weather app through tonight. We're down around 70. It's not really a temperature forecast, mind you, but we'll start climbing into the lower and middle 80s as we head toward the middle of the week. Check out Wednesday, 86, but lower rain chances. Another system progged that we'll have to watch come Thursday, but a 50-50 shot of showers there. And from there, lower rain chances as we take you into the first day of fall and beyond.
Time to announce this week's high school football team of the week, the Wallace Rose Hill Bulldogs. They beat Pender 27-12. Game moved to Thursday night of last week because of rain. Wallace Rose Hill hosts Southwest Onslow this Friday at 7 o'clock.
All right, it's time for our third reveal of our 2025 Collector's Calendar winners.
Time to show you the winner for the month of March, and here it is. It is Perfectly Framed Shrimper, taken by Mark Moore of Sunset Beach. That will be the picture for March.
That is perfect. Talk about perfect timing. Such a cool shot. Congratulations to Mark. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 6 o'clock when we announce the April winner. And download the WECT News app to get a notification when you can pick up your free calendar later this year. All right, let's remind you about school closings. Columbus County remote learning tomorrow. Brunswick Community College closed.
You'll see a full list of the schedule changes on WECT.com. Gabe?
Yep, good idea to stay weather aware as we head through the next few hours as these rain bands lift to the north, but some optimism for drier times through the overnight and first thing tomorrow. We'll see you back here at 11.